Welcome back, my most ambitious and dedicated learners. It is truly inspiring to see your commitment to mastering this beautiful language. Today's lesson touches upon one of the most vital secrets of fluency. It's speaking English from day one. The legend of the perfect moment. Once upon a time, in a quiet town nestled between rolling hills, lived a young man named Leo. Leo was a diligent student. He owned the thickest grammar books, his notebooks were filled with meticulously organized vocabulary lists, and he could explain the difference between the present perfect and the past simple better than most native speakers. However, Leo had a secret fear. He had been studying English for 3 years, yet he had never actually spoken a full sentence to another human being. I'm just not ready yet, Leo would tell himself. Once I learn these next 500 phrasal verbs, then I'll look for a conversation partner. Once I understand every single lyric in a Shakespearean play, then I'll join a speaking club. I need to be perfect first. Leo was waiting for a perfect moment that felt like it was always just over the horizon. He imagined that one morning he would wake up and English would simply flow out of him like a mountain stream, flawless, effortless, and elegant. Across the street lived Sarah. Sarah was quite different. She didn't have the latest textbooks, and she often confused he and she when she was tired. But if you walked past Sarah's window in the morning, you would hear a constant murmur of English. Sarah didn't wait for a classroom or a tutor. She turned her daily life into a stage. While brushing her teeth, she would look at herself in the mirror and say, "Good morning, Sarah. Today is going to be a productive day. First, I will make coffee, and then I will tackle that difficult report." She wasn't talking to anyone, yet she was practicing the most important skill of all, muscle memory. She was training her tongue and her brain to work together in English. She realized that the perfect moment was a myth created by fear. The only moment that mattered was the one she was currently in. One afternoon, a group of international travelers arrived in their town. Their car had broken down, and they were looking for the local mechanic. They spotted Leo standing near the park. One traveler approached him and asked, "Excuse me, do you know where we can find someone to fix our car? We've been driving for hours, and the engine started making a strange clicking sound." Leo's heart raced. He understood every single word. In his head, he perfectly composed the answer, "Yes, if you go straight for 2 blocks and turn left, you will see a garage with a blue sign." But when he opened his mouth, nothing came out. The gap between his silent knowledge and active speaking was like a canyon. He stuttered, turned red, and eventually just pointed vaguely down the road. The travelers thanked him awkwardly and walked away. Leo felt defeated. "All that study," he whispered to himself in his native language, "and I couldn't even help them." That evening, Leo saw Sarah at the grocery store. She was standing in the produce aisle, holding a bell pepper and whispering, "This pepper is very red. It's crunchy and healthy. I think I'll buy 3 of them." Leo laughed gently. "Sarah, why are you talking to the vegetables?" Sarah smiled warmly. "I'm not talking to the vegetables, Leo. I'm practicing my freedom. You see, if I wait until I meet a real Englishman to speak, I'll be too nervous to remember anything. But if I talk to my mirror, my dog, or even this pepper, the words become my friends. By the time I meet a real person, my mouth already knows what to do." She explained that language is not a subject to be studied like history or biology. It is a skill, like playing the guitar or swimming. You can read 1,000 books about swimming, but the moment you jump into the water, you realize that reading and doing are two very different things. Leo decided to take Sarah's advice. That night, he didn't open his grammar book. Instead, he stood in his kitchen and narrated his dinner preparation. He said, "I am cutting the onions," out loud. "Ouch, my eyes are watering. Now I am frying the chicken. It smells delicious." At first, it felt silly. He felt like a character in a strange movie. He made mistakes. He forgot the word for spatula and had to describe it as the flat thing for flipping meat. But for the first time in 3 years, English felt alive. It wasn't just ink on a page, it was a vibration in the air. Weeks passed. Leo continued his day one philosophy. He spoke to his reflection while shaving. He described the weather to his cat. He even started thinking aloud when he was alone, debating with himself about which book to read next. A month later, Leo was at the train station when a woman asked him for directions to the museum. Without thinking, Leo replied, "Oh, the museum is quite close. You can take the bus, number 12, or if you prefer walking, it's about a 10-minute stroll through the park. The weather is lovely today, so I recommend the park." The woman thanked him with a bright smile and a, "Your English is wonderful." Leo stood frozen on the platform. He hadn't searched for rules. He hadn't worried about his accent. He had simply spoken. The bridge across the canyon had been built, one silly conversation at a time. Many learners believe they need a partner to practice speaking. While having a partner is great, it is not a requirement. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a conversation with a professor and a conversation with a mirror. It only knows that it is being asked to retrieve English words and form sentences. When you speak to yourself, you remove the fear of judgment. There is no one to laugh at your mistakes, no one to correct your pronunciation, and no one to make you feel slow. It is a safe laboratory where you can experiment with the language. I truly hope you enjoyed the theme of today's lesson. I strongly encourage you to listen to the story again. Repetition is the absolute key to successful learning and long-term retention. Use this story as your first speaking prompt. Try to summarize Leo's journey aloud to yourself in the mirror. Until our next lesson, keep practicing, stay curious, and most importantly, keep speaking. See you soon.